Hey, Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. But let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, today's first story comes from SOTB1234 and says, I, 24 female, found out that my husband, 35 male, made a disgusting bet with his friends when he met me, and now I can't see him the same way. E, 35 male, is friends with my 24 female stepbrother, 36 male, since they were in college. And to be honest, they were always respectful to me. I never knew they were bad enough to do what they did to me. I thought they respected me for being their friend's younger sister. But I was wrong. To put you in context, their group of friends dissolved when they grew up and followed different paths, and a few days ago they decided to meet again. Well, that meeting was held at my house, and at one point during dinner, one of his friends started saying things like, he, my husband, was very lucky that our thing worked out, and when he said that, some laughed and my stepbrother and my husband got very nervous, so I asked what he was talking about. And when my husband tried to shut him up, I knew something was wrong. So I asked the same thing again. He told me that when my stepbrother introduced us, he told them that I was really arrogant and a loser, and that I needed someone to teach me a lesson. And I admit, I was very arrogant. I used to be annoying because I felt that no one was smarter than me and that they were all idiots. Well, they, except my stepbrother, decided to bet to see who would get to sleep with me first. Evidently, it was my husband, and we've been together ever since. This happened 6 years ago. I would feel less hurt if he had always been an asshole because it would have been my fault for falling in love with someone like that. But he was always so sweet and cute to me since we started talking that I would never have thought that he was making fun of me behind my back. When his friends said that, everyone shut up because my face said it all. I got so pissed off that I just laughed and went to our room. My husband followed me and began to swear to me that he is no longer like that, and he loves me, and that he regrets what an asshole he was before he met me. And even though we talked lots and tried to forgive him, I can't look at it in the same way. This morning he went to my appointment with the doctor because I am pregnant, and when he cried when he saw our baby, I was disgusted, because I don't know if he is being sincere or not. I don't know when I'll trust him again, but I want to do it, but I can't. Does that even make sense? Could things go back to the way they were before this mess? So, this group of nearly 30-year-olds at the time made this bet to sleep with you, 18 at the time, to teach you a lesson. And I couldn't help but think that the very foundations of your relationship, how it started, was built on the back of this bet from his side. And to this day, they're still joking about it behind your back, openly, in front of you. So we start in the comments with Soph Lurk, who says a bunch of 29-year-olds make a bet I've set with and humiliate an 18-year-old in order to put her in her place. That is extremely disgusting. They're a bunch of predators, your stepbrother included, for being friends with these kinds of people. Tired and Short says, I hate to be the one to say it, but I find it super weird that a bunch of 29-year-olds would make a bet about sleeping with an 18-year-old and teach her a lesson. Super weird. That's extremely immature and disgusting behavior for very full adults. How dare they call you the one who needed to be taught a lesson? If anything, they needed to be taught a lesson. Your stepbrother is pretty vile too for not stopping that bet. Dilaria says, so, once the 29-year-old man slept with you, the 18-year-old is part of a bet. He also then helped you become not so annoying. And then quotes, and I admit I was very arrogant. And then says, girl, he fucked you for a bet. And then it sounds like he helped change your personality too, because he was grooming you to be a good little wifey. Even now, you still want to trust him. You can't, nor should you ever trust him again. He lied to you for 6 years. And my gotta just say says, so a 29-year-old man seduced an 18-year-old girl on a bet, but he's such a lovely guy. Gross. So gross. And your stepbrother is complicit in this. Fucking gross. This whole situation has my skin crawling. It's so predatory. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near someone who could do that, or thought it was okay. All the people who knew about this bet are scummy, including and especially your scummy husband and stepbrother. OP, you're having a baby. How would you feel if it's a girl, and when she's 18, some 29-year-old guy seduces her to teach her a lesson? You're right to be disgusted. You should probably be even more disgusted than you are. One more comment from Lekor, who says, so you found out that a group of men who were just on the sunny side of 30 took a bet to see who would get to fuck the arrogance out of a teenage girl. And the guy from that group who won is your husband, and you were the girl. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry, AB. What a shocking thing to find out, and yes, it is a huge betrayal, especially considering it's clear he never had any intention of telling you the truth, which in my opinion, you should have done far before things got serious if he cared about you. Please consider counseling for yourself and take your time to decide whether the relationship is worth salvaging. You deserve to do what's best for you. If you reach the point where you are sure your trust is irrevocably broken, it's totally understandable. So OP created another post in between first post and the update, which we'll cover in a second, and it was titled, "Am I the arsehole for forcing my husband to celebrate his birthday only with me because I don't like his family?" And it started off with an edit talking about the previous post, and a few weeks ago I found out about a horrible bet that he made with his friends about me before we started dating, and it was not easy to forgive him. I told him that I would forgive him if he didn't invite his family. That's why I said I forced him in the title. And it continues. The thing is, my 24 female husband, 36 male, comes from a family that really doesn't know what boundaries are. Ever since they found out I'm pregnant, they tell me what to eat, what to wear, how to act, etc. I can't stand them anymore. I tried 1,000 times to like them, but I can't. They are really overwhelming. I'm about to give birth, and I just want peace. I know that with them, that is impossible. So I asked my husband to go to a restaurant to celebrate his birthday because I wanted to be at peace at home. He refused because he said he wanted to stay with me. I told him not to invite his family then because they get on my nerves. And at first, he didn't like the idea so much because he never celebrated a birthday party without his family. But then he accepted. So we celebrated just the two of us at our house, and of course his family got mad at us. Especially me, because they know it was me who didn't want them to come. But I don't regret the decision I made because it's the first time in 6 years that I've dared to face them and tell them not to do something I don't like. So, am I the arsehole? And basically, everyone in the comments on that post was asking about what the bet was, and when they found out, and the ages, etc., it was like, what the hell, you need to get out of that situation, basically. The OP comes in with another update, which was related to the first post, and says, on my first post, I, 24 female, got a lot of nice comments and even messages, so I thought it would be a good idea to post an update. After I found out about the bet, we had so many fights that we thought it was the end of our marriage, and decided to start couples therapy, hoping for the best, and thanks to that, we were able to move on. E, 36 male, apologized many times, and we had many long talks on this matter, but today, I can say that everything is in the past. Today, we have a beautiful 7-month-old baby girl, and I am 5 months pregnant, and to be honest, I have never been happier. Of course, there are days when I think about what he did, but then I think about the present and what he is today, and I forget about everything because the truth is that he is another person now. Well, he was never really mean to me because from the moment we started talking, he was always caring and sweet. Only now I know that everything is genuine and is not faking it. Although according to him, he never faked anything because he liked me a lot when he knew me intimately. I don't think our marriage is perfect because from time to time we have fights, but that reason we are still working on our relationship. Because we love each other, and we want this to work, and we want to grow old together. So, that's all. There isn't much more to say. Thank you for your kind comments and messages. And I think the key word that jumped out of that update in the comments was yikes. It was said a few times in there. A couple of comments saying if he genuinely only cared about the bet, he would never stuck around and things like that, but yeah. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story does come with an update as well from OKFig5320 and says, is my husband still in love with his ex? My husband, male 38, and I, female 30, met 4 years ago, and now we have a 2-year-old son. For me, he was married to Jane, female 40-ish. My husband never talked about her, neither good or bad. I found out from my sister-in-law, female 30, that Jane didn't want children, and that it was my husband who broke it with her. We were married for over 10 years. We were taking a walk down the park with our son yesterday, and my husband froze in his track, and I looked over and recognized Jane immediately. She was heavily pregnant. She smiled and walked over and said hi. My husband didn't even say hi back, just asked, what is this? Squinting at her belly. She hugged her belly and said, yeah, it just happened, but a smile vanished mid-sentence, and she looked sheepish and apologetic. I just looked at her, and she shook my hand and said hi to me and our son. And she stroked my husband's arm and said she was sorry. It just happened, and he just pulled his arm away. She said sorry again, and he just started walking, leaving me and my son. I didn't say anything to her and just walked after him. When we got home, he looked her up and found her baby daddy. Since yesterday, my husband has been distant and silent, and I caught him crying in the shower this morning. I don't know what to think. I asked him if he wants to talk, but he just shakes his head. I talked to my sister-in-law and she came to visit within an hour, and she had the same look Jane had. Guilty smile. She went to his office and I heard him cry. Before she left, she said that he loved me and to give him time. I don't know what to feel. I have a big, heavy lump in my stomach right now. And in your title, you asked, is my husband still in love with his ex? And I'm not sure if I actually felt that as I was reading the story. You said they were married for over 10 years, and the husband broke up with her because he wanted kids and she didn't at that time. But I can only picture this as being like overwhelmed when seeing your ex pregnant, and the reason that you broke your marriage up is because you wanted children. So I can imagine, just being overwhelmed with feelings, etc. Maybe some feelings of inadequacy and stuff like that. I think potentially a proper asking to having a sit down talk and ask him what's going on, and some professional help at the same time is going to be the way forward here. From what I read, it certainly didn't feel like he's in love with his ex, but who knows, sometimes these stories surprise me. But MY says, I doubt he's in love with her, especially if he hasn't given you any reason to think that since you've been together. Now, what is most likely feeding? Why wasn't I good enough for her? What about me compared to this new guy was different enough for her to want a child with him and not me? I'd akin it to more like finding out someone less qualified got the damn job you always wanted. No love per se, just a feeling of inadequacy. Adventurous Sand says no, I don't think you're still in love with her based on the information you've shared. What is likely happening is he's compartmentalized the end of his marriage as we wanted different things and grew in different directions, but finds out that she's now living the life he wanted. He wanted to build a family, and she told him she did not, so he moved on. But now she's building a family, so the only conclusion is she did not want to build a family with him. It's the Harry and Sally moment when she broke up with her boyfriend of 10 years because she didn't want married, and she did, and finds out he is now getting married. She doesn't want him back, but is so upset because what's wrong with me? It's a shock. This doesn't take away the hurt in watching your husband and love of your life crying over an ex. Be entitled to feel all the feelings over that. Doesn't mean he does not love you and love his son or regrets the life he is building with you. Talk to him. Take the time you need and then talk to him. Yeah, and I think, seeing your husband or wife crying over one of their exes would be a pretty shocking and upsetting thing to see, I think. And I think I'd certainly find myself that way as well. All productivity only says no. He had to end the 10-year relationship, and it's probably heartbreaking, but he did it because he wanted kids. Now she has kids, so he probably feels inadequate and like he wasn't good enough. If he so desperately wanted children and it was a deal breaker because she didn't, only to see her have a child, I can totally understand him being torn apart by this information. It has nothing to do with still being in love, in my opinion. And whilst I sympathize with you, because you probably feel like he's crying over another woman, and I understand that hurting, I don't feel that, respectively, should make this about you. Given some time, he's essentially grieving a decade lost to somebody that didn't feel was good enough in his head. And one more comment from Background World who says, I get what most people are saying, but it's the way he's treating you that I'm not okay with. The sister shouldn't be the one telling you that he loves you and to be patient. It should be him. He has a wife and child. I'm sorry, but that needs to come first. Shutting your current family out is only going to create more unneeded trauma and chaos. A mind can make up all kinds of scenarios when you've been shut out and have no other info. Adding that he's distant and pushing you away, which isn't normal, raises my eyebrows, and I've been married for 20 years. The OP does update their post and said hi. Thank you everyone for the continued support. I really appreciate you who took my side and stayed in touch, messaging me for news. We'll go right into it because I feel that I need to talk, but at the same time I have no energy to write, if that makes sense. Kane gave birth to a baby a few days ago. I didn't know that before today, but apparently my husband has known it because he's been texting his sister non-stop. Apparently a family member of Jane or a partner shared a picture of the baby girl. My husband saw it. It blocked Jane, so it wasn't her. My husband took a screenshot of that post and sent it to his sister, telling her the baby looked like Jay. Perhaps she looked like what he pictured his daughter with her to look like. His sister was comforting him, saying that he should block everyone or just delete his social before he ruined his life and family. Forget her, you have your own beautiful family now. I can't. This morning my husband told me he wanted a divorce. He said that he couldn't do this anymore and that he wanted to be alone. This is not fair to you and your son. I was numb and didn't even cry. I was planning on taking a walk with my son anyway, so I did just that. That's when I logged into his account and read his messages with his sister, who found out about Jane and her baby. He still has Jane blocked on Facebook and hasn't talked to her since that day he apologized. When I got home, he was cleaning the house and he packed a small bag, and he said he was going away for a while, then moving in with his parents. He said he needed therapy to live by himself for a while. I didn't say anything. I need to go cry now. I can't believe how my life has turned upside down in a matter of weeks. I'd never have thought my husband not being in love with me, if you asked me months ago, would say you were mad. When he left, I couldn't help but text him. If you see me happy and pregnant in a few years, please don't come over and say hi. He didn't answer. Fuck. I'm sorry you were going through that, OP. That is absolutely heartbreaking. When he said you and your son. OP left a couple of comments below that. Someone asked about any good news yet. AB said no good news. Sister-in-law told me to wash my hands of him. He's taken a sick leave and left for a 5-week fitness retreat in Spain. I got the divorce papers and email from his lawyer. He's leaving me the house and our money and savings. He has kept this word at least. My lawyer will go over the details before I sign. And it will take 1 to 2 years until it's finalized because we have a child together. He doesn't want shared custody of our son, but there was nothing about giving up his parental rights. No one asks about child support, and OP says yes, he will pay child support because he doesn't want custody. When he takes custody too in the future, sister-in-law suspects he'll eventually be able to take care of our child, then he won't pay child support but have shared custody. And personally, I just don't see how a fitness retreat is going to help this guy at all. And look, I'm not defending his actions in any way, shape, or form, but he needs therapy, not a fitness retreat. I just can't help but think about how one day in the future he's going to turn around and regret his actions. You know, there's a possibility he won't, but one incredibly messed up situation. And again, I'm incredibly sorry that you and your son are going through that. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved, truly. And if you do love a Reddit story, there'll be a couple of playlists at the very end of the video you can click on, and it will automatically scroll through all the stories for you. So for whatever you're up to, at the cheeky so-and-so Kevin over on Twitter the other day, sorting out his garden, looks lovely by the way. Adlyra strolling round a park in South Korea, absolutely wonderful photo set as well. And don't forget to let me know what you're up to whilst you're listening, it absolutely makes my day. Over on Twitter at Mark Narrations, love to see it. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. I'm my Chihuahua. Man, I remember being so naughty when life was good, weather and palm tree. Back in the day, and you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you made me like a fool when you made me believe that the lie between love wasn't indicative enough to be. Oh yeah, you see me in despair, crime everywhere, and you sell it false hope because you just don't care. Nah, you just don't care, me. Nah, you just don't care. You just don't still sell it false hope because you just don't care. House, feel me, up the two with uniform or the real. You know we end the deep south, so let's keep it real. Me, this is what they used to bob, let's drag and kill you. I never made the body cause I felt a paper bag. Gotta get this money cause you know I never paid it. I feel in like Badu, the way I carry my baggage, this heavy load on my shoulders might turn me to a savage.